Greetings! In this video we're going to be going over some of the best weapons and part combos in the game for PvP. Meaning of course individual weapons or parts that when paired together have a devastating synergy. And this will of course not be counting anything like doubling up on the same weapon, comboing those together, as that's just, simple enough. So let us begin. Alrighty, starting with arguably one of the best combos, and pretty fun one, we have the linear rifle Harris, which of course makes for a fine range weapon, having a nice fire rate, good travel speed, high impact, high damage, that kind of thing. But its distinctive feature that gives it great combo potential is its charge attack, which has insane bullet velocity, great damage, and most importantly, very high initial impact. So if we pair with something like the Pulse Blade, and then we combo both charge attacks, leading with Pulse Blade, into the bullet velocity of the Harris, you'll get a stagger on most opponents. Pretty much any light to medium weight, heavyweights are the only ones that will barely survive it. Which at that rate, you're best to mix in a couple missile hits, some normal Harris shots perhaps, or some good old-fashioned kicks. And of course, when using this combo, once you have your enemy staggered, you can just go ahead into a melee punish, whether that is a rocket, javelin alpha, or a melee. Additionally, you can also combo the Harris with the explosive thrower, as you can either lead with the explosive thrower into the Harris, or the Harris into the explosive thrower. Then go for your punish. And of course, if you want to go with the Harris into Pulse Blade combo, it is best to choose either the booster Kinkaku or the Flugel, as both of course have primarily high melee attack thrust, meaning you'll have very high speed when going for your melee, which will of course heighten the chances of actually landing your charged Pulse Blade into your Harris, into whatever stagger punch you have lined up. Next up, we have the Laser Dagger and all the combos with it, which is again another very fun one. First, we have the Laser Dagger and its maxed out cooling, aka recharge, paired with the expansion Assault Armor. What makes this combo so nice is if you get your stagger going, you then go for your melee punish. Oh no, they pop their expansion, Assault Armor, back into the dagger, as the dagger has enough recharge to be back and ready by the time you stop to use your expansion and then go back into it, unlike most melees. And if you want to make this combo even more deadly, you can add a Wooger to end on your melee punish. And here's what that would look like. No, we're back into it, baby. Finish off? Yeah! He may have been able to dodge out of that, although he is very big, so we'll see. And then next we have the Lammergeier legs.
Lamborghini.
And because of their Tetra nature, allowing us to use weapons that would normally stance us, as well as them being the Lammergeier, the lightweight variant, having very high speed and impressively high hover speed. So when we actually activate hover, we're a lot faster. My favorite combos would be either pairing the Zhuangji with a Majestic, as of course not only do we not stagger when firing both, but the reload of both match up pretty well, in which we'll fire the Zhuangji as you see. By the time that's fired and we can fire next, our Majestic is reloaded. As of course, this 1G does have a faster reload, but given fire time and swap, they pretty much both have the exact same reload under those contexts, meaning you're just getting more damage for having a Majestic while still having the effective fire rate of a 1G. So of course, fire at that. By the time we're done with that, we'll have the Majestic back up. A not super popular combo, and in fact, I haven't used it a whole lot myself, but it is pretty nice and worth mentioning. However, a more popular combo with the Lammergeier legs would be the Laser Shotguns Woogers, or just the normal LS, or 66 laser shotguns, the VPs. And it is especially nice with the Woogers on legs that don't stance you, as they don't have the, longest of range. They're very much a very short range. With their charge attacks, especially giving off a mini stagger, it's very nice to move towards the enemy and move freely while getting them off, as most opponents will just get mini staggered by it. Or of course, mini stagger without each hit, and then a full-on stagger if both actually land. And then of course with the VP shotguns, it's very nice when you hover above the enemy to get that nice splash damage off the ground if you just barely miss, getting some extra damage indeed. And then lastly, for the lamb leg combos, we have the best melee weapons paired with these legs. That of course being the plasma thrower, the hammer, and the ET, the explosive thrower. And of course these pair so well with Tetra legs, or non-stance legs especially, as unlike every other melee weapon, they do not scale or get any benefit from melee attack thrust, as they stance you when you go to use them. However, on Tetra legs, you can keep on moving at the enemy while throwing them out, eliminating that weakness of the stance indubitably. And of course you can just swing them out while moving, while hovering, all that good stuff. I wouldn't really recommend hovering while going for this kind of stuff, because often shots will just miss, especially when given a recoil. So yeah, I'd recommend just exiting out of hover, because you don't need to be in hover, of course, to get the non-stance feature. And yeah, it makes weapons like this absolutely nutty, indubitably. The hammer's charge attack will never be that great though, which is fine. It's great in every other aspect. All right, next we have combos for the Zimmerman and Holderman shotguns. First, one of my favorite pairings with these Zimmerman shotguns are the LCS laser cannons. As pairing both together, they match up pretty nice with each other's fire rate. We lead with Zims, LCS. We can often get some more Zims in, extend the stagger into more LCS. LCS, of course, when normally firing, never really use the charge attacks. It's never really worth it. You can get off 4 shots. The cooling's very nice. And again, you can just spam both high stagger, high damage, staggering most builds within only a couple shots. And of course, mixing kicks or assault boost Zims, all that good stuff. Makes for a very fun build experience, methinks. Very, very good indeed. One of my favorites for sure. Next, you can also pair these Zimmermans, or Holdermans even at that rate, with either the MLT 10-cell, 6-cell, or 4-cell. Either of those missiles will work as they all have the same attribute of firing forward, making it very nicely paired with very close range builds, such as build with shotguns, as you can just get very close barrel stuff and get some nice value out of that. You can sense impact and damage, which can of course combo into your shotguns, into kicks, and all that good stuff, making for a very strong close range boy. And of course, these missiles can be fired at one assault boosting, so you can get some extra damage out of the assault boost kinetic from the shotguns, leading to kicks with the missiles. It's a nice, great way to get some just basic brutish pressure indeed. And then next for the Holdermans especially, because of their higher fire, they are very well paired with reverse joints. Often referred to as a frog build, as you can just chain kicks into Holderman shots, into kicks, into Holderman shots, into kicks, into Holderman shots over and over again. And it is pretty fun, pretty annoying to go against if you are, your connection's not very good. Bad connection and reverse joint kicks are just made for each other. It's a great old time. The reload time is perfectly matched. Alright, and that is pretty much it. I'm currently working on a video showcasing a kind of sleeper combo, pairing the Assault Rifle Tanner and the Burst Machine Gun Esugin together. So I'll have an optimized build around those weapons, showcasing the video most likely this week. So yeah, again, those are some of the best weapon and part combinations in the game for PvP. If you know of any that I've missed, or you have some interesting sleeper combos you would like me to take a look at and feature in a part 2, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Alright, and that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, a huge thank you to my Egg Crusaders, my channel members, Arch, Shadow, Metal, and Magpie. Y'all are absolutely insane, and I appreciate you immensely. All this said, y'all have yourselves a very good one, and peace.